What's going on, Panther Nation? We are back. We're live. Let me know if I sound good. Let me know if it all sounds good to y'all right now. Just want to make sure the volume's good. Want to make sure it sounds good for y'all. If I have to adjust anything, let me know before we get started. Wow, painful game. Painful game to say the least. Again, let me know if we sound good. Any lag, anything before we get started. What's up, Trizzy? What's up, Evan? All y'all coming in. Man, what a down bad performance. What's up, Corbin? Bench Andy. Yeah, man. We're gonna get into everything. It was a lot. The defense played awful. Andy Dalton played awful. It was just a bad game all around. Okay. I know we can come up here and blame Andy, for everything. I get it, man. I get it. I mean, Bryce was out today. Bryce was out today. We needed Andy to come out here and at least do his job and just get the ball out quick and do his thing. He couldn't do anything. But again, if you watch the game, the defense was bad too. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't think we win this game even with Bryce on the field, just because of the fact that their offense is going crazy. I don't think we have we would not have had enough explosiveness to win the game. Okay, but we would have been competitive. It would have been like 27-20, I think, with Bryce out there compared to Andy. It would have been a good game because Bryce, you can see, he just masks a lot of the flaws that we have on the offensive line. He masks a lot of just the problems we have, man, with his ability to scramble. Now, I said that in my video when I made my Bryce first kind of Andy Dalton, what we need to see from Andy this Sunday. I made that video obviously on Monday. What I said in that video, I said Andy needs to come out here and get the ball out quick, because if he doesn't, we're cooked. Right. So bench Andy. I think Bryce should be playing next week against the Packers. We need him to. If Andy's our quarterback next Sunday, we're gonna be 4-5. It's just over. That game was so painful to watch. Yeah, man. It was bad for sure. It was bad for sure. It was like 13 minutes left in the fourth. We're down 40-9. I was like, I'm done watching this game. So yeah, I got done watching quickly. It was on Andy. Andy was the primary factor for the reason why we got into the hole, and he just couldn't do anything to get us out of it. I mean, it was 12-3. It was 12-3, and we were down bad at that time. Like, it's crazy. We were down 12-3, and I was like, there's no reason why we should be even in this game. We were still in the game. Okay, then Andy comes out here, throws a bad interception, gives them the ball back at the 1. They score. We have a chance to go down the field and score a touchdown. Andy takes a sack. I mean, he's the reason why we got in that big hole, to be honest with you, but the defense did not do their part either. Okay, I mean, the defense was down bad. The defense was terrible. Oh yeah, Evan, I forgot you told me last stream you're going to today's game. Yeah, that was definitely the worst single performance this season for sure. From this team. So what's up, Caleb? He said box watchers gonna have field day on us. Yeah. James Cook averaged like 13 yards a carry. Josh Allen did not need to do anything today. He was nothing special at quarterback. He just made the plays, and that's what Andy needed to do today, but he didn't do it. Like, this game wasn't even competitive because of Andy Dalton, right? If the quarterback plays better, this game is competitive. That's my point. I don't think we win this game because James Cook played too good. I think for us to really, even with Bryce, win this game. But at half, I saw they had 200 total yards. We had 150. Like, it was just the turnovers messed us up in the first half, getting us in that hole. And Andy just pumped the ball at least like 10 times today and took a sack when he didn't need to. Right? Obviously, the all-22 is going to come out, and I'm going to be able to see, like, was there anybody open on those pumps? All that type of stuff is going to be able to come out, but I don't know. Before we get anything, does this ruin things for us? No. In terms of contending for the playoffs, no. I don't think so. Just because of the fact that we started a backup against one of the best teams in the league. I came into this week telling you guys, yes, It's a bye week. They just came off a loss. I think that benefits the Bills. I said that because of the fact that it's Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, has a bye week to sit on a big loss that they just had against the Falcons. This is going to benefit Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, to be able to sit on a loss and think about it. Like, it just was going to do it. So I came into this week even thinking before Bryce was actually going to be out, I said I think the Bills are going to be a loss anyway. But yeah, the Rico Chuba situation is an interesting one. I think Rico needs to be the starter, just personally. I mean, Rico averaged 6 yards a carry today on 8 touches. Chuba averaged 2.8 yards on 12 touches. You guys tell me about that situation, because listen, with Rico, when Rico runs the ball, I think there's definitely more creativity, more pulls, more design. It's better, like it looks better. But at the same time, like, you can't be averaging 2.8 yards a carry and expect to be the starter. That's just simply, right? I feel like when we watch the game, we can all agree that when Rico gets the ball, it's more creative runs. Okay, I think we can all come in here and agree with that. Like, the running game is more creative with Rico Dowdle in the game, and I think that's a benefit to Rico towards Chuba. I think if you give Chuba the same type of runs that you give Rico, there might be more effectiveness, but that doesn't matter. I mean, you're still averaging 2.8 yards a carry. So whenever you're watching the games, I would rather take 6 yards a carry than getting 2.8, personally. D was fine. It's on Dalton. He should never, ever touch the field again. Hooker should have played after the first drive. The defense was bad, okay? Like, the defense to start the game played good enough so you can say maybe Andy Dalton was wrong. We got in the hole too. And I will agree with that, okay? I will agree with that. But giving up James Cook was doing good from the jump of the game, okay? So to say the defense was good necessarily isn't, I don't think, a great way to put it, because the defense, James Cook was playing amazing all the entire game. Like, the first quarter, he had like 80 yards, I'm pretty sure. So the defense was not that good today. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. The secondary did their part, and there's no pressure at all today, which is why last week when I made the Nick Scorin and Princely video and I broke down film, I told you guys Nick Scorin is doing nothing special in pass rush right now. Okay. And the sack he had, I mean, he had a sack, but it took 20 seconds for him to get the sack because there was no pressure in the secondary. It was really a coverage sack with that sack. And that's kind of what I'm trying to allude to when I made that video, when I broke the film down, is like, Nick Scorin is really not that right now, per se, that talented in pass rush. Okay. It's Princely. Princely is genuinely talented in pass rush. And and you guys saw it again today. I mean, there was no pressure. And I think Princely played again like 30% of the snaps. Like, it's starting to, make me a little upset, because you have DJ Wanham out there still, who's getting no pressure still. Okay. He's supposed to be your number one pass rusher coming in the season. He has no sacks on the year. The pressure rate is kind of high for him, but you got to finish on him. I don't really care if you get pressure. I want you to finish on sacks if you're our best player in that department, and you're supposed to be. Nick Scorin, he's a rookie. He has like 2 sacks in a year right now. He's doing fine, right? But you want to see more, and I want to see more, okay? Which is why I kind of am just tired of seeing Princely not play football, because it's kind of like he's clearly the most talented pass rusher on our team, okay? And it's just obvious. It's obvious. And it's kind of my little rant for the pass rush room. Like, there's no pass rush, bro. Like, none. Like, Josh Allen could have ate as well if our secondary didn't play that well today. And the secondary was good, okay? Running defense was awful, okay? Just going to be honest and straight up, I think we can all agree with that. The run defense was terrible. I mean, the pass defense was pretty good. What's up, Luke? He said, this just proves that Bryce is actually a good quarterback. Yeah. And again, I didn't want to come into this live stream just kind of hammering Andy Dalton, because there's more issues with this team or in this game than just Andy Dalton, right? He got us in the hole, okay? But the defensive line giving up, 13 yards of carry on the ground does not help either, okay, to help us win this game and get us back in the game. I mean, it's simple, okay? But the Bryce situation compared to Andy, yes, Bryce Young masks a lot of this offensive line and this offense in general. Let's just be honest, okay? He does. I mean, we can kind of take a look back and say maybe it's because Andy Dalton is his first start as a backup. There's probably not as much connection with the receivers, but I mean, last year he came in against the Raiders and was feasting in his first start last year against the Raiders, okay? I think it's just because of the fact that I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. It's just Andy's washed, and he's just not that good of a quarterback anymore in terms of passing the ball. I mean, there was a lot of times that he could have, done his thing today. I mean, T Mac was great. I think he almost had 100 yards today. If not, he might have hit it today in receiving. But yes, Bryce Young is a good quarterback, and I've been saying he's been good all year, man. He has 12 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. If you count the fumbles, sure, he has like 8 turnovers total. But take the fumbles out, Bryce has been fairly, very good this year, man. Very good this year. Just the most accurate his entire career. He's not a game changer as we want him to be, but he's a game manager. When Rico Dowdle is giving you 6 yards a carry, you don't need him to do that. Okay. What's up, D5? He said, disagree. Our defense was gassed after being on the field the whole game. Again, defensively, there's really no we can't sit here and act like the defense was good. We can't do it. Unless you want to say the secondary, sure. There was missed tackles all game long through the first quarter to the end of the game. Okay, the defensive line, if you give up 13 yards a carry on the ground, I don't care. You didn't have a good game on the ground either. Like, that's an awful game. Like, we gave up the most yards to, I think, a Bills player in the first half ever. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember what the graphic said. I mean, it was not a good defensive game, right? But let's not act like this is all on Andy Dalton. This game from the jump was on everybody. Really, was really on the entire team. If we really take it, and look at it that way, if that all makes sense. Evan said, "Yeah, start Rico. What the heck? Obviously, you start him. Yeah, I mean, I think his last snap of the game was in the second quarter with like a minute left. He had only 8 carries today. It didn't make sense, really. Like, I like the drive for drive that we've been doing the last 2 games, but then you went away from that and just give the ball to Chuba, really. Like, Rico was clearly your hammer for a running back. He's been that good this year. Like, I don't know why you go away from that really at all. But he did. I mean, Dave Canales did. For whatever reason, he went away from it. Trudy said, hold on one second. Trudy said, our offensive and defensive line got destroyed. The injuries from the games prove it. Yeah. Offensive line was pretty bad today. Pretty bad. Like, it was bad. It was bad. Granted, Andy Dalton held onto the ball longer than he should have almost every time he got sacked, and did that little pump every time. But yeah, the offensive line was not good, and the defensive line was probably worse than the offensive line. Let's just be honest. Like, the defensive line was probably worse. You got no pressure, which has been the biggest kind of con of this defense all year. Really, this team has just been pass rush. You're not getting any pass rush like any game so far. Okay. Stopping the run has been really the main thing for this defense. And today you didn't do it. You just didn't do it. I mean, that's really the backbone of this defense, is stopping the run. And when you give up 200 plus yards on the ground, it's going to be hard to win games. It's going to be hard to win games if you're the Panthers. So that's it. They did great early on. If Dalton doesn't just waste his offensive possessions, the defense could catch. I don't know. Again, fumble in the red zone. Yeah, we held him to 3. James Cook did a great job on that first drive as well, with efficient runs, obviously. But he was doing that all game. That's what I'm saying. Like, the defense was not as good as people might want to say. It just wasn't. Let's look at the game objectively, and let's realize this defense was not that good today. The secondary was okay. Linebacker play was all right. To start the game, I feel like the defensive line was just getting bullied all game long. And I think we can most of us should agree with that. I think everybody in the chat right here might be able to agree with that. Maybe not. Who knows? But Corbin said Andy was so bad. Was like preseason. I turned it off for Josh Allen first touchdown of the second half. Yeah. Yeah. And again, he made the biggest mistakes. I think we can all agree with that as well. Just looking back at the game, kind of what happened. He was the biggest. He led to the hole. He did. Right? Like, the fumble in the red zone. Like, we could have scored a touchdown there. Would have been 7-3. The interception before the end of the half, it was 12-3. We had a chance to go down the field and score potentially. If not, I mean, maybe you give the ball back to the Bills, but they don't have 40 seconds and they might not score. You never know. It's 12-3 at half instead of 19-3. Okay. And it's 19-3. Cool. You go down the field, you get a touchdown. You don't do that because you give up a sack. I mean, there's really not much you can do as a team there with those turnovers, you know? Stats say Andy had 3 turnovers, but really he did. Hold on, let me put this in. We still 3-0 Bryce at home. Yep, for sure. What's up, Mason? Princely is bad against the run, and we are already terrible against the run. Oh, this year we've been good against the run. Today we're bad, obviously, as I stated. But yes, no. Princely is definitely not better than scoring against the run, but he's better in pass protection or sorry, pass rush. And that's what I think we need more of right now. It's simple. I mean, we need more pass rush right now than we need to stop the run because I think our interior is really good. And when you're trotting out guys that just can't get after the quarterback consistently, it's just going to be hard. You know, it's just going to be hard. So. Let me share this with y'all. Show you guys the stats for this game. All right, let me see. All right, here are the stats for the game. Total stats. So the 410 to 244, that's down bad. That's down bad. Hold on. 410 to 244. Again, at halftime, it was literally at what was it? 200 to 150 for us at halftime. Again, it's just the turnovers that really got us in that hole and just not stopping the run. I feel like turnovers, we had 3 first downs, similar penalties, only had 4 penalties to their 7. Third down wasn't terrible on third down either. Look at the individual stats. I feel like box score wise, T-Mac had like every passing yard. I mean, look at Andy, 16 for 24, 175, 1 pick. Made some good throws. Again, like Andy made some decent throws on third downs. It's just the turnovers, I feel like, that really got us, you know, in that situation. Rico, as I was saying, 8 carries, 54 yards, 6.8 yards per carry. That's efficient football. I mean, you give this man the ball 5 more times, he might be over 80 yards today. You know, and I feel like in the beginning of the game, we did a bad job not running the ball more. I feel like we got a little pass heavy. You don't need to do that, especially like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird how Dave Canales is starting to kind of sway away from Rico a little bit. You know, I was saying, again, this week I was talking about how I don't mind if Chuba is the back a little bit as well, you know, continue to kind of be the back a little bit. But if Rico's being this consistent, 6.8 yards a carry every single week, I mean, come on. Like there's no reason why Rico should only get under 10 carries is just down bad. I don't care. I really don't care if you're down all game. Rico Dowdle with 6.8 yards a carry will give you enough plays to get back in the game. You were down 19-3. All right. I understand Andy Dalton made the biggest turnovers, and that is the biggest part of the game. Is the reason why we got in the hole because of Andy Dalton, those turnovers. But you didn't even need to make some of those passes and those plays. You could have just kept running the ball in the first quarter. That first drive, keep running the ball. I mean, you got down there because of the run. If we're being so serious, he had like 12 yards on that first drive pass, and we got down the field because of the run. Rico had that big run, if y'all remember, of the 24 yards, as you can see, his longest was 24. And you went away from Rico after that first drive, really, because Or was the second drive? I don't remember if Chuba had the first drive or not, because we might have punted the first drive and they got the ball back. And then I don't remember. I mean, it doesn't matter. Rico's first drive was very good, and then we went away from that. Really, didn't really see him play a lot. And then you can see Chuba right there, 2.8 yards a carry on 12 carries, just down bad, man, just down bad. It's like 2 weeks in a row now, and the receiver room, 7 catches, 99 for T-Mac. I mean, he was separating all game long. Like he was genuine. He was separating all game long. Like he looked amazing today. Our receiver for us, average 14.1 yards per catch. What's up? He said that was not the same defense we saw shut out the Falcons. Yeah, it wasn't. Again, it was a very underwhelming defense. A lot of people could sit up here and say the defense was fine, blame it on Andy. One player does not lose you the game by 30 points. He can get you in the hole, but he did not do enough to get us. The defense not do enough to hold him under. I mean, take out the 17 points off turnovers. They still gave up 23 points today on just defensively. They gave up 23 points. And not to mention the turnover that they had, the fumble was inside our red zone. So really, if you want to think about it, I don't know if they scored on that drive. I think they did because they have all points. They scored a touchdown on that drive, I'm pretty sure. They really got 30 points from our defense today. It's just Andy was bad. Andy got us in the hole, but the defense did not do enough to contain their offense. Again, look. You guys tell me, is James Cook averaging 11.4 yards per carry? Is that winning football on defense? It's just not. Like I will tell you guys, for the people that are trying to, give the defense some slack and cut up some slack. This is not winning defense. It's just not. Like you're not going to win really a lot of games giving up that many. I mean, we saw when Rico ran for 200 yards for 2 straight games, had 200 total yards in 2 straight games. You're not going to really be able to win games when you're giving up that many yards on the ground. Okay. Plus Bryce Young is just making good throws. Okay. Making winning throws like on that 4th down against the Dolphins to get us back in the game. It's just, you're not going to win a lot of games. You're not. You're just not going to do it. And the defense did not do enough to win this game. Simply. What's up, Corbin said, I don't even fully blame the D-line for run stop. Most of stuff where the blockers granted second level and then the linebackers did nothing. Yeah, again, the All-22 is going to kind of show that. We might be able to see more of that in the All-22 when I go over it and watch it tomorrow. But at the same time, you can't this is not the same defensive line that allowed running backs to get to the second level. They got pushed all game and they moved. Like it was a lot of pullers, a lot of, shifting to the right, to the left. Every running play was a toss every time. The Bills Joe Brady knew exactly what to do to this defensive line. He's seen that one toss to the right for James Cook or to the left. I mean, it was really to the left every time. But every time they tossed to the left with James Cook and he got 7-10 yards every time, they kept spamming that play. So when you can do that consistently on a D line and you just put a body on a body and you're allowing him to get his second level, the defensive line was not good. Like Joe Brady schemed up the run outstandingly. It's just what they did. Like if you guys remember watching it, right? Because I assume you guys all probably watched the full game. Maybe not the full game, but the first half in specific when they kept spamming toss to the left with James Cook and he got 10 plus yards of carry consistently because it kept working and they kept putting a body on a body. Derek Brown couldn't stop. Ashawn couldn't stop. Bobby Brown couldn't stop it. And Christian Roseboom is just not that good of a player if it's like that. He needs to be – him and Trevor Wallace are really linebackers that need to be helped by the D-line. And then they can get downhill and force more stops. They're not linebackers that can just get downhill and, this running back's on the second level, let him make a play. That's not what they are as linebackers, simply. Well, actually, Dawkins started. Oh, you're talking about the fight? It was wait. Was it halftime? Or was it the end of the game? Let me see. Yeah, T-Mac, 99 for T-Mac, man. Again, he was great today. T-Mac was great. Jalen Coker was good today as well. Made some big catches, though, was that third down catch to the outside to keep us on that drive to score. But then Andy Dalton took that dumb sack at the end of the first half like a dummy he is. Yeah, Jalen Coker had a good game. Excel just consistently just mid. And I was told all week long by some Panther fans that Andy Dalton gives XL more opportunities. He's a better quarterback than Bryce Young because he gives XL more opportunities. XL's a first-round draft pick. Okay? I don't care. He's a first-round draft pick. I'm trying to see our first-round draft last season just take more steps like from last week. It's just not – he's not clicking right now as a receiver. And it's just our first-round draft pick is not looking like a first-round pick. It's simple. It's simple. And it's starting to get frustrating because, I mean, I don't know. Again, people can look at the games and look at the all-22 and be like, Bryce didn't give him opportunities here. He underthrew him, overthrew him. Andy Dalton didn't give him opportunities here. He underthrew him, overthrew him. It doesn't matter. At some point, as a receiver and as a game changer, first-round pick that you're supposed to be, you're not making plays. You're not making plays. I mean, he has not had a 100-yard game this season yet, and we are 8 games in. He was closest last week with 94 yards. Like, I don't even know if he has more than 2 50-yard games this year. I don't think – I don't know if he does. Again, at some point, it's just a talent issue. Let's just be honest. At some point, it's a talent issue with Xavier Legette. And it's not just a quarterback is not giving him enough opportunities to make plays. Because I'm tired of hearing that, to be honest with you, with XL. Like, XL's too talented athletically to be given that excuse. You're bigger, you're faster than most corners just in the league. Just make plays. It's simple. Make plays. All right. Again, when I look at the all-22, I'm going to look at XL too, see how many times it got open. I mean, he's just not a specialist when it comes to separation either as a receiver. But again, at some point, I think we all have to kind of agree. I don't care if you like XL or not. I don't care. At some point, we have to just start talking about XL being just maybe not a first-round talent that a lot of people think he could have been, because he's not turning games. Like last week with 94 yards was his biggest game of the season, obviously with the 94 yards. But again, at some point, you got to turn that into more games. Evan said Chuba's long was 5. Oh my God, bro, bench this kid, bro. Yeah. Let's go back to it. Yeah, man. Look, Chuba longest was 5 yards. Again, and we can kind of just discuss like the difference in creativity in the run game. I will give that to Chuba. Okay. I will be honest with y'all. I will give that to Chuba Hubbard. I will say the creativity in the run is different. Like it feels like we like to pull more. It's more shotgun with Rico, allowing him to kind of get him more in space and more pullers and stuff. Chuba is kind of just give him the ball and just find a hole. I will give that to Chuba, okay? And a lot of times it's just not a lot of running room for him to take off and make plays. But it's kind of like an XL, bro. At some point, you got to start turning it on. And when your other running back is compared to you and he's averaging 6 yards a carry, I just don't care, to be honest. Hold on. When Rico was in the game, we all saw the bounce and juice that the offense had. The tape shows it. Hold on, let me. Y'all saying delay. All right. Let me know if we better. We back. But yeah, Tracy said when Rico was in the game, we all saw the bounce and juice that the offense had. The tape shows it. Yeah. Again, Rico averaging 6 yards a carry. the last 4 games, really all season long, because that's really when he really had the opportunities. He's just putting up numbers. I mean, give Rico the ball 15 times this game. He has another 100-yard game. I mean, what more do you want from him? Like at this point, if you're comparing the two, are you not going to give the benefit of the doubt to Rico Dowdle, who's actually giving you better production right now? Like if we're just being honest with each other, right? If we're making that debate. Again, I came into this week being honest with y'all, and I said we should split carries still. Jeez, man. This stupid. All right, let me see. Yeah, see, y'all say it's not better. Hold on 1 second. Better now? I think it's better now. Let me know if it's not. But yeah, Rico is should be the starter. If we're just gonna be straight up honest with each other. For people that are still debating it, Rico's the better running back right now. Right now. I say right now, because again, Chuba came off. But yeah, I mean, people that are still debating, again, I get it. Because Chuba, we just paid Chuba. He had 1,000 yards last year. It makes sense why a lot of people want him to be the starter. It makes sense coming into the season. He was always a starter coming in. And then when he went down, Rico had those big games. And then we were kind of, you know, but with Rico just averaging 6 yards a carry at the moment, man, like after coming in the last 4 games, it's just simple. It's simple. Like I think right now, that's why I say right now, because again, anything can change. It's the NFL. Chuba could be better from the calf and, find his rhythm again and be okay. Okay. It's all about the NFL is a game to game situation when it comes to playing teams and all that. It's just a game to game. It's a game to game league. Corbin says, well, the Bills' run schemes were great. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. The run schemes were great, and we could not stop the run schemes. Simple. We could not stop the schemes at all. I mean, Joe Brady seen the left side of the line was just cooking all game with James Cook, just tossing the left every time, and we could not stop it. And that's why I got to second level consistently, because we could not stop a single. I mean, Derek Brown one-on-one couldn't do anything. Bobby Brown couldn't do anything. A'Shawn couldn't do anything. Our edge rushers couldn't do anything. Pat Jones, by the way, his absence is clearly there. It's clearly evident why Pat Jones is a good player against the run. It's just pretty obvious. Like I think this game kind of showed, because he sets the edge well. And they kept going to left because, I mean, they have a really good left tackle. So they kept going there. But yeah, man, I mean, that's it. That's really what it is. Let's look at some of the defense of stats today. Again, it's just kind of hard to kind of have anything go our way today at all. Again, defensively, Christian Rosen had 12 total tackles. Again, Christian wasn't necessarily bad today. I don't think he was necessarily bad today. I think he started off the game well. I think he was. I don't know who was better between him or Trevor Wallace. I have to watch the all 22 for when Trevor was in there as well. I don't know who was better today, but I think Christian with the 12 total tackles. Again, he had 135 last year against the Rams, and he wasn't bad on the Rams. I think we can all agree he was not bad on the Rams, but those 135 were kind of like iffy in terms of like the actual effectiveness of his tackles. Nick Scott's continuing to play well. They're continuing to play well. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. Nick Scott has generally not been bad this year. I think he's been better than Lathan Ransom. And I think we can honestly, Lathan, I didn't really see Lathan out there that much, to be honest with y'all. Maybe it's because he didn't make an impact, but I did not see Lathan out there a lot. But Nick Scott's been better than Lathan Ransom. I think he's definitely been. He missed a tackle today. Other than that, he's been out there making tackles. Like that's why he has 8 total today. Trevor Wallace with 7. Nick scoring with 5. He had that half sack. Again, that half sack was not effective at all. If you guys watch the game, we can all agree that Nick scoring sack, it took 20 seconds. That was a coverage sack. I mean, there was no pressure from Nick the entire play until Josh Allen decides to scramble out and look downfield and didn't have anybody. Trayvon with 4 tackles did not really have this is definitely his worst game today. I think he missed tackles. That touchdown to James Cook, he was right there in the hole to make a tackle, completely missed for Trayvon. TFLs, he's been great with that this year. He had none today. Trevor Wallace had a TFL. Obviously, that's the only TFL with Lathan. Lathan did have a TFL today. He was out there playing. He only had 1 tackle though, and he did have a TFL for Lathan. If you guys were curious, I mean, Rico had a tackle too. You see him. This is why Rico Dowdle is better than Chuba. I mean, he was out there making tackles as well. You see, just out there making tackles for Rico. So 1 tackle. Oh, shoot, Chuba had a tackle too. I mean, Andy Dalton had a tackle as well. JT had a tackle. Look at the offense was actually not bad today. They were out there making tackles. Great. Derek Brown, 1. Yeah. Okay. Derek Brown today was definitely bad. I'm not gonna lie. He was really not effective at all. The all-22 is gonna help me figure that out more today or tomorrow when I break it down. But there's a lot for me to look at for the all-22 today. I'm gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna be straight up honest with y'all. Derek Brown, why he wasn't effective. The linebacker play. Lathan Ransom too. I'm curious about where he was. And didn't see him all game. Trayvon was bad. I don't have to watch the all-22 today to tell you guys that. The defense wasn't good today. What's up? Wait, no. My son first. What's up, my son? He said, I didn't watch the game today. Is EJ back on the hot seat? No. I think one game doesn't do that. There's questionable things from EJ every single season. Okay, like this one is JC Horner all the time. Again, there's no really number 1 receiver on this team, and the passing game wasn't the problem today. It was the running game, and I feel like you needed pressure more today, and it's just kind of iffy why Princely's still not out there more. Hold on, my mic is still. Can y'all hear me? My bad. Can y'all hear me? All right, we're good. We're good. All right. But yeah, when it comes to Jero Vero, my bad. But when it comes to Jero Vero, that's the biggest thing. It's just he's not consistent with making the right decisions. But this year, the play on the field has been better than I think any season he's been here. Maybe 2023 wasn't bad either, obviously, whenever it was Bryce's first season. But other than that, I mean, like Jero Vero is just makes the dumb decisions. I think personnel wise, he makes mistakes. Again, scheme wise, he makes mistakes at sometimes, but I mean, overall, defensively, we've been better this year than years past with EJ. So I don't think he should be on the hot seat, but I think if we don't make the playoffs, we've had him for so long, I think there's a chance he doesn't come back. Just simple. What's up, SE Panthers boy? He says how Buffalo had all these players out at the beginning of the game that still played when Bryce Young didn't. Um, are you asking Buffalo had more players out than they were supposed to at the beginning of the game and they played? Is that what you're saying? I don't really. Sorry, I'm kind of slow a little bit, but I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, hold on. How did Buffalo have all these players out at the beginning of the game that still played when Bryce didn't? Are you okay? Are you saying they were supposed to have more players out before we played, and then they were active, and then Bryce Young obviously wasn't? Well, Bryce didn't play, obviously, we know because of that ankle, and he just didn't want to risk it. But the Bills players, I know I've seen some injuries during the game, but yeah. Honestly, don't know what to say anymore. This makes me feel like the team can't do it, and can't make the playoffs, but I don't want me to think that. I mean, at this point, it's fair to think that. I mean, listen, we are currently the Falcons got smoked today, so we're still the second in the South. I don't know about the Bucks game right now, actually. Curious what the Bucks get. The Bucks are only up 4 at the half right now to the Saints, but we are the second seed in the South. But again, the NFC is so deep this year. I looked at all the teams; like 13 teams can make the playoffs at this point, and we are in that conversation before this Sunday. And it's kind of like I don't even know if we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna make the playoffs either. To be honest, just gonna be straight up honest with y'all right now. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be tough. We have to win 10 games to make the playoffs. I think we have to because the Bucks are gonna be great. I just don't know. First of all, the South, I think, is out the window. I see Corbin said, still think we can get the 7th seed or win the South. I think the South is out the window. I just don't know if we're going to be able to do it because we have the Packers coming up. We have the Bucks twice. I don't think we're going to beat the Bucks not one time, to be honest with you guys. We have the Rams. I think the only losses that I think are very, really possible at this point left are the Packers, Rams, and the Bucks twice. We're losing the Bucks twice. I think we can get one of the Packers or the Rams, depending on injuries, circumstances. Like next week against the Packers in Lambeau Field, I think that could be a tricky one, obviously for us. But I think also we can make a good game out of it if we're healthy. Derek Brown obviously went down today. Based on the pressures, it sounded like he should be okay. Brady Christensen, I think, is ACL tear, so he's going to be out for the rest of the season, which sucks because he's been consistent all year. It's going to be interesting how the offensive line shakes out now because Robert Hunt's still going to be out for a little bit. So that's going to be interesting. But that's 4. If we lose those 4 games, we're going to be 9-8 at best. So you guys tell me if you guys think we're going to make the playoffs or not. Because if we lose those 4 games, which those 4 games are absolutely losable already, we're not even mentioning the other games. Like we had the Saints twice. Those are going to be wins. Let's not talk about that. Those should be wins. Who else we got? We have the Falcons again. We could definitely beat the Falcons second time. I definitely think we can do that, especially if Michael Penix is playing. He's been very bad and underwhelming. And Kirk Cousins started today, and they got blown out by the by the Dolphins. So 9-8 does not get us in the playoffs. As Panther fans, let's just keep it real with each other. 9-8 does not get us into the playoffs because we're not winning the South with that record. And the NFC is too deep at the moment to get there. We have to be 10-7, I think. So is there a path there? There definitely is, but we have to beat one of the Rams and the Packers and then the Bucks once. Is that possible? Like if we beat the Packers on Sunday next week, that'll be a win, and then get one of the Buck games and then just win the games that you need to win with the Falcons, the Saints. You can go 10-7 and make the playoffs, but you got to do that. And am I confident enough talent-wise in this team to do that? No, I'm not. I don't think this team is talented enough right now to do that, simply. I think there's still another season or two to get there to win 11, 12 games and really make a push. Just my opinion. Again, y'all can disagree with me, but I think that's where I'm at right now when it comes to playoff seeding and if we can get there or not. If they lost by 10, I wouldn't be mad and still have confidence, but I don't know. I agree. But at the same time, again, Andy Dalton was kind of a big reason why we lost this game. Like a big reason why we did. So I wouldn't even say lose confidence yet. I think the Packers game with Bryce back next week is gonna tell it all. If we lose next week, I think it's time to just start winning games and just getting this team ramped up for next offseason and just accept that we're probably not going to make the playoffs. But if we beat the Packers next week, I mean, with Bryce back in Lambeau Field against one of the best NFC teams in the league, on the road with Bryce back, there could be some hope because again, we started Andy Dalton today. Like this is kind of like we can use that excuse as Panther fans if we beat the Packers next week. You know why we lost by 30 to the Bills. Like we can use that excuse, but again, we are still yet to beat a great team this year. Like let's be honest, we are still yet to beat one of the best teams in the league this year. Like we have yet to do it. Today was our statement with a backup to do it against a team that was just on a bye week and kind of stumping a little bit. And we also the backup. If we lose to the Packers next week, especially in a game that's really not close, like I think we got to start getting to that point where it's kind of like this team has 4 wins, but you have one against the Falcons who don't look that good right now, against the Dolphins and the Jets who suck. And then what was the other win we got? Against the Cowboys, who are probably our best win at the moment, who are, trending up and doing better offensively. They're one of the best in the league. Defensively, they're getting better. But that's how I feel. I mean, the Packers game is going to tell us everything. If we lose to the Packers next week, it's kind of like we're a good team. We're decent. But we're not there yet talent-wise to beat the best teams in the league. That's what I have for y'all when it comes to playoffs and where we are. In 2025 with the Panthers. But Trey said their 12 and 13 personnel packages was moving us all over the place. Man, we were getting bodied. Who was that? Number 85. They had Dalton Kincaid out there. They had Knox out there. They went crazy. And then who was the number 85 out there? The rookie today. They used him as blocking, and he was eating. He was eating today. Like he was eating today against our line. It wasn't even close. So yeah, the 12 and 13 personnel packages today, aside from just the offensive line doing themselves a favor, they could put out, I don't even know what number 85 is. I think he had a catch today, actually. Because Jackson Halls. I think he's a rookie. He had 2 catches for 15 yards, but talking about blocking wise, he was the best player today in terms of tight ends for them when it came to blocking. They just had anybody today. Like they had their line, and then they could put Halls out there. Dalton Kincaid was really their threat. And then obviously you had Dawson Knox out there as well, kind of blocking a lot. They did everything they needed. Like they really ate today when it came to the tight end play and just using a tight end or two to really own us in the run game. What's up, Jeff? He said Miami beat Atlanta today. Yeah. Again, in terms of the NFC South, that's a big loss. But it would have been so much better if we won today and then the Falcons just got belt today. But we didn't do it, so it's not really anything we got to celebrate. Personally, I think as a Panthers fans, there's no reason to celebrate that loss that the Falcons had today because you got belt today too from the Bills. So it's kind of like you got to bounce back. And as I see y'all talking about in the chat, the Packers game is big, right? Evan said Packers game definitely tells us all, no doubt. If we beat the Packers, we're so back. But if we lose, and that's not good at all. I mean, if we lose by a touchdown next week, then it makes it better because you got to think Bryce coming back from injury. Yeah. I think when it comes to my thoughts in the playoffs, I could care less about Bryce's injury. If you lose the game next week, you lose the game. You're still yet to beat a great team. Again, I just went over the wins we had so far this year and the losses we've had. You lose to the Bills, who are one of the best teams in the AFC, have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You lose to the Packers if we do that. One of the best teams in the NFC, who currently are 4-1-1, might win today. You lost to the Jaguars, who record-wise are better than us right now. Well, I think they're 4-3 right now. You lost to the Patriots, who are one of the best teams in the AFC. Those are your 4 losses. We have and the Cardinals, who they suck. But those are 4 of the best teams in the league that you lost to this year. And then your 4 wins would be against pretty mediocre teams. So you need, if you're the Panthers and you're trying to compete and get into the playoff picture, you got to win a game like this next week. The Packers are a game you got to get. Simple. Now, if you're a team that just wants to be frisky and, just be competitive and just build more culture, and then next offseason, acquire more talent, get another, top 15 pick, use that on defense specifically, and get another, game changer on defense, for example. But you're just a talented team this year, and you do enough to be 7-10, 8-9, and just be competitive. Cool. I'm okay with that because it's progress. But if you want to be legit playoff contender and get in the playoffs, you got to win a game like this next week against the Packers. I think we all agree with that. Jeff said next week is scary. It is. I mean, on the road, it's definitely a scary game. I'm not going to lie. But if Bryce is back, it'll be good. Is Bryce for sure playing next week? He's cautiously optimistic is what I seen them say earlier this morning on the Fox broadcast. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We shall see if Bryce is playing, but I think it will. I think he will play just because of the fact that his ankle, he was on kind of day-to-day all week. Another week sitting out, I think will be fine. I think he'll be okay. I think he will play. If I had to predict, I think he will play. Again, he was kind of day-to-day till yesterday. And then that's when he was marked doubtful, like earlier yesterday morning, or was it Friday night? I don't remember exactly. But he was day-to-day all week. You saw him run in practice on Thursday. He looked good. I think if you're the Panthers, you're fine. I think Bryce plays next Sunday. You need him. Again, if Andy Dalton plays next Sunday, we're losing by 14 plus for sure. I don't think there's really a debate about that because this team is just not talented enough to win with Andy Dalton. I think we can all agree with that. Tracy said the Packers game will tell us where we fit in the NFC picture. Yeah, right now, again, coming into this game, I tallied like 13 NFC teams that were really good this year. That were in the picture. The Bears are in the picture. I mean, believe it or not. I mean, the only team right now is the Saints, and the Cardinals were not also in that picture either. Those are the only two teams that are not in the picture at the moment in the NFC, unless I'm missing a team. That's 13 teams, or that 14. It's 14 teams in the picture. You can only get 7 in the playoffs, okay? So it's just hard. It's going to be tough. Yeah, next week is definitely scary. Next week is definitely scary. It's our hardest game because it tells what we're going to do. Yeah, next week is going to be our toughest game of the year. Honestly, yes. Next week will be the best team we're facing all year, and it's on the road. Because, again, you're facing a team with, I don't know, it's Jordan Love. Yeah, I don't think Jordan Love's injured. They have a good running game. Their defense is very good. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, next week is definitely going to be scary, man. It's just going to be. But I think, again, there's definitely it's going to be our toughest game. I mean, again, we're on the road in Lambeau Field. We're trying to bounce back. Talent-wise, it might be our toughest game as well. I mean, the Bills are talented, but they were injured today. It's just you really think of Josh Allen, you're like, yeah, that team's really good because he's Josh Allen. But overall-wise, the Packers, I think, are probably going to be the best team we faced all year so far. If we win next week, we sit back to like we never lost against the Bills. Yeah. If we go on the road next week in Lambeau and win the game, especially if Bryce is out there, we really don't even care at that point. I got Walker. I got a Walker, and he can borrow if he starts again next week. That's funny. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't do it with Andy again. If Bryce don't play, I hope all Panther fans know forget playoffs. Yeah. Again, I think next week is huge. It is. I mean, like Trizzy said, this is a big. It's going to tell us where we are in the playoff picture in the NFC. It just will. No, really, he's going to get hurt trying to scramble like he did. Yeah, I think if Bryce played today, he probably would have got injured again. So I'm actually happy he didn't play because you need to kind of stay on that timing and make sure you're not getting injured again and hurting it even more. But Trudy did say if Bryce has an high ankle sprain, he's not playing next week. A high ankle sprain is a 2 to 4 week recovery span. Yeah, next Sunday will be 2 weeks though. I genuinely think he's going to play. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do. Again, I understand. why you think that, because you're trying to think of the kind of the worst case scenario. It makes sense. Okay. I will cry if Bryce doesn't play next Sunday because I mean he looked, he looked good in practice. He did. He did. I mean, he looks good. He looks like he was covering better. He has no boot on. There's no limp. Another 7-day kind of just to sit on it and not do too much. I think he'll play. I do. Again, I think you're right, though. Again, you're right about that. High ankle sprain is 2 to 4 week recovery span. Granted, next Sunday, it'll be 2 weeks. And this morning, we heard from kind of reporting that we're cautiously optimistic that Bryce should be out there next Sunday. But it's just something we got to wait and see. Got to wait and see for. I think if he doesn't practice again this week until like at all, and he's like, something where we got to wait until like it's Wednesday, he hasn't practiced yet, Thursday hasn't practiced yet, then it's something where it's like, yeah, bro, he's not playing. Okay, but if he kind of takes like a rest day, not Monday, Tuesday, and it goes back out there and starts practicing, cool. I think Dave Canales knows we need Bryce Young. And I think, again, all week he knows that. That's why he said he's going to be day-to-day. And I think that it's not a bad ankle sprain either, to be honest with you. And I think he's on that 2-week kind of section. Obviously, it's a 2 to 4 week thing. I think Bryce is on the 2-week where it's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that we have to see. But we have to see it again. But he's not going to just hurt his quarterback, okay? If Bryce is not 100%, he's not going to play him. But I think he's close to 100%. I think right now he's probably 85. And I think by Sunday he'll be 100%. Just my opinion. But listen, Trizzy, I get what you're saying. The high ankle sprains, 2 to 4 week kind of recovery time. But again, next Sunday will be 2 weeks. I just think Bryce Young, the way he's recovering, it'll be in that 2-week span. It won't be any week. I don't think it'll be 4 weeks or even 3, to be honest. Don't say that, Trizzy. Please, we have the play. Everybody knows him, or everybody knows. I'm just stating the facts. True. I will cry with you. He's recovering great. Absolutely. Recovering perfect. What's up, Micah? He said, yeah, we need Bryce back. Bad. Dalton did terrible. Did awful. Did awful. It was one of the worst quarterback performances in a while. Maybe since Bryce's performance last year against the Saints, maybe it's probably the last time. At the same time, though, I'm not surprised that we lost, especially if Bryce is back. And Summers and Corbett is back on center. I don't know why. We lost, especially if Bryce is back. Are you saying that you feel like we would have lost even with Bryce? I agree. I think it would have been like 27-20. It would have been a competitive game, which means so serious because we gave up 17 off turnovers. That means that's 23 points. Just give him 4 more. I mean, that's 27-20 right there. I feel like, and you guys can say, well, Bryce turns the ball over at least once a game and does that. Sure, it's true. That's true. But Andy played terrible today. Like, it wasn't even close to as bad as Bryce Young starts to games. It just wasn't. Dave knows he has to push Bryce to play. He knows that. That's why he said he was day-to-day. That's why he specifically told us he's day-to-day, because he knows Bryce is the catalyst, man. Like, he masks a lot of the issues that this offense has. He just does. He does. But again, he's not going to push him in that sense to, if he's injured, he's not going to play him, because that would be stupid. Your quarterback is your quarterback. You can't put him out there if he's not 100%. That would be dumb. You're putting him in risk of injuring himself. You don't want to do that. So, yes, in terms of pushing Bryce to play, he will do what it needs to make sure he's out there on Sunday as long as he's healthy. So, 3 of our offensive linemen left the game, didn't return. Yeah. I don't know if you heard, but Brady Christensen probably tore his ACL. So he's going to be out for the season most likely. And who are the other 2 that left the game? Taylor Moe left the game. I did see that. Who else left the game? I don't know. Was it Kate Mann that left the game? I think also Corbett was starting. Unless he was just automatically the starter, which would be stupid. But yeah, I don't know exactly. But yeah, offensive line is starting to get really injured. Starting to be starting to be a little bad in that sense for the offensive line. Great stream. You're my coping. Thank you again. I'll see your next stream. Go Panthers, get a big one next week. Heal up Bryce. Appreciate you, Evan. Hey, you go enjoy some football for the rest of the night. Go for the Saints so we can kind of get closer to that one seed in the South and go enjoy some football, man. Appreciate you for tuning in the entire stream. I'll see you next Sunday, man. But yeah, I'm about to hop off too. It's been a cool little stream with y'all. We're over here for an hour. I enjoy doing streams with y'all, man. I do about an hour all the time with y'all because y'all always, staying tuned. So I appreciate y'all for always doing that every single stream. And we hit 1,000. So we're still trying to get up there. Obviously, the 1K, we're not stopping. We're going to continue to grind and post more content. I'm watching y'all 22 tomorrow. Make a video, obviously, probably Wednesday for y'all. That'll probably come out for the y'all 22. About what? I don't know. There's so much that we have to look at in the y'all 22 because we did so bad today. But get to these last final chats. Brady Christensen, yeah. Tore the ACL. Horn. Jimmy Horn. He's a baller. I think we need to use him more, but Brady Christensen got hurt. Yeah, he did. The ACL tear, man. But all right, y'all. Well, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all enjoy this stream. Again, I'm gonna have some videos coming out for y'all this week. All 22, some random, just some random content, and I'll try to go live at the end of this week. Definitely Sunday, but try to go live maybe Friday, Saturday, and get a little live stream there, kind of pregame show. Before the game, kind of preview it. And we got to get a big win next Sunday, man. Got to get a big win. Appreciate all for tuning in, and let's keep going up. Get to 2K now. So see y'all next stream next Sunday after that W against the Packers.